As VCW action rolls on here inside the Norfolk Masonic Temple, Cerrios De La Sangre set to make his Virginia Championship Wrestling debut, but he is certainly a competitor that is very familiar with the squared circle, has competed all around the world. You've seen this primarily over the last couple of years south of the border, competing for the Crash all throughout Mexico. But he's done it as a single, he's done it in a tag team. He can go technical, he can high fly, and he's certainly found at times the ability to cheat to win. As Cerrios De La Sangre looking to make an impact here, dancing with the fans of VCW, of course, slated to take on Gino Medina. But it looks like we might have a slight change in plans tonight. And we'll see what's going to happen here for Cerrios De La Sangre in his Virginia Championship Wrestling debut.
You're asking who I am. I can guarantee you right now, if you go through your mother's cell phone pictures, you might find a few interactive, provocative ones. But this is a family show, and I will let it remain as thus.
Strong words from Cerrios De La Sangre.
I love you. From one POS to another. You're all right in my book, you POS. But we're carrying on to business. I don't get paid by the hour, and quite frankly, I don't give a damn to hear you guys come up with some pretty lame-ass chants. So, all the way from main eventing Arena Mexico, Auditorio de Tijuana, in front of thousands of people, VCW, Virginia Championship Wrestling, contacted Cerrios De La Sangre. And they said, you are bringing the piss and vinegar and everything more. So we want to bring you to our podunk town of Norfolk, Virginia.
Come on.
Where my sister's just as good as my cousin.
That's the wrong Virginia, Cerrios.
But I came to Virginia Championship Wrestling because I was guaranteed competition. I was guaranteed somebody to test me to my limit. But quite frankly, Gino Medina might as well be named to Gino Medina, because he tucked his tail right between his legs, realized who the hell he was going to be stapling into the ring with, and purposely missed his flight.
That is not at all what happened.
No Gino Medina! I hate to break it to you guys, but Gino ain't coming. I'm Spanish, I can say this is what happens when you give a Mexican guy too much tequila.
Gino experiencing some travel issues, of course, breaking news to the fans here at VCW. So what's going to go down now?
I swear to God. One more word from you guys. One more lame-ass chant, and I can almost guarantee you that you guys will never see my ass here again, because I will turn around and leave.
Some of the fans might like that.
I'm not gonna grant y'all that satisfaction, because y'all can all kiss my ass. Because first things first, I came to Virginia to get paid, and I can only get paid if I'm kicking ass. So, whoever's back there, anybody at this damn point, let me take home my pay and get on with my life. Back to San Diego and the hell away from you people.
Cerrios De La Sangre. essentially making an open challenge here. Whoa, who's this? I certainly recognize that man. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, Tim Spriggs, set to make his Virginia Championship Wrestling debut. I've had the opportunity to speak to Tim Spriggs before a couple of VCW events back in 2021. But this is a huge opportunity for the BJJ specialist.
Introducing his...
Whoa, and Spriggs looks like he has something to say.
I'm Tim, the Bushmaster Spriggs, professional wrestling's first and only Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt world champion and the best grappler in the world.
That's a mighty claim, but he certainly can back it up. A former brown belt world IBJJF champion. He's won several Pan American titles as well.
This dude, he said he's the first ever Brazilian black belt professional wrestler. Is that what he said?
Looks like Cerrios may be doubting Tim Spriggs here, but again, a 2018 no-gi IBJJF world champion. Also winning the IBJJF world title back in 2013 with the purple belt division. And he has extensive training under the Gracie lineage, under Lloyd Irvin and Julius Park with Team Crazy 88 in the Maryland area. And we'll see how Tim Spriggs is able to fare here against a high-level competitor in Rios De La Sangre. Bell sounds are underway. Senior official Ron Mills assigned to this contest. Somewhat impromptu battle. Here's two men set to make their VCW debut here in Norfolk. What a way to kick off 2022 with this bout. And hopefully when we return on March 19th here to VCW, we won't see any tough luck for Gino Medina, and he will be back in the fold. As we see some grappling here by Rios De La Sangre and Tim Spriggs nearly grabs side control, but in professional wrestling, can use that as a lateral press. Nearly gets a cover there, a near fall indeed. Rios De La Sangre does also do some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training of his own, so he certainly knows at least how to try to hang with Tim Spriggs. Now trying to manipulate that arm of Spriggs. Spriggs rolls through. A nice single leg pickup by the BJJ grappler. Now trying to work a knee bar here on Jay Rios. Rios calling out the entire locker room, seeing if anyone wants to step up to the plate and replace Gino Medina. Tim Spriggs obliged. And the BJJ black belt having his way right now with Rios De La Sangre. Tries that arm manipulation here, does Rios. Spriggs trying to shift the weight a bit. Grapevining the legs around the midsection of Jay Rios. Rios De La Sangre. Put in a bit of combination right there by Tim Spriggs, and Spriggs showing off those smooth moves inside the ring. And Rios will need to find a way to go back to the drawing board and counter the grappling of Tim Spriggs. And it looks like Rios there showing off some mutual respect to Spriggs. The drop down to the go behind. And Spriggs did not see that one coming. The big clubbing blow to the back of the head certainly showing some of the inexperience of Tim Spriggs in a professional wrestling environment. Started his training in the Maryland area. He's also worked extensively with the likes of MVP, WWE Superstar MVP. As Spriggs was actually sparring and grappling with MVP before MVP competed in a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu tournament several years ago. Back up to a vertical base here, Spriggs. Back to Rios against the ropes. And Rios collides with Spriggs in the ring, and you certainly see Tim Spriggs has some more size than Rios. Checking in at about 207 is Tim Spriggs. Rios goes for the hip lock takeover. Spriggs putting on the brakes here. And Spriggs reverses course and gets Rios up and over. And Spriggs, utilizing the high headlock takeovers, then meets Jay Rios right in the middle with a picture-perfect drop kick right to the kisser. Leto press, hooks the outside leg, and only gets 2 to Spriggs. Spriggs, a lot of his wins in his BJJ career have come from choke submissions. So Cerrios, if he has to protect that back at all times here in this type of environment, as now we're down on the arena floor here, referee Ron Mills administering his count. This one's starting to get a little personal. And Rios and Spriggs exchanging blows on the outside of the ring. And now Spriggs trying to build up some steam, but eats the back elbow of Rios De La Sangre. And Rios launched there onto the apron. And Spriggs needs to be careful. Rios does have that lucha libre background. And connects with the acai moonsault right on the floor. Rios De La Sangre has officially arrived here in Virginia Championship Wrestling. Certainly talks a big game to Rios, but he's backing it up inside the ring right here. Rios rolls over Spriggs, hooks that outside leg. And a near fall yet again. We were talking about Spriggs. A lot of his victories have come from choke submissions. On the flip side, the majority of his handful of losses have come via on his back. So he needs to be careful here, does Tim Spriggs, as the way he wins is sometimes the way he loses. And with Rios De La Sangre having some jiu-jitsu background of his own, Spriggs has to have his head on a swivel here. Rios in the wheelbarrow position, tries to roll through. Spriggs looking to put on the brakes. Rios drops him down, and a nice job by Rios to get him right into that Juji Gatami, the cross arm breaker. Trying to flatten that arm 180 degrees. You see Tim Spriggs there trying to turn it a bit at a 90-degree angle that takes some of the tension off the elbow. Nice job by Spriggs to shift the weight, create a pinning combination, but Rios right now has Spriggs in the center of the ring, and you see Spriggs trying to sprawl out, and now doing anything he can to take the tension off. And now Rios possibly looking to grab a head and arm triangle here. And Spriggs trying to stand back to a vertical base. Look at the power of Tim Spriggs here. He picks Rios up, and Rios De La Sangre is thrown right to the near side buckle, and Spriggs explodes out with a clothesline. Rios De La Sangre is down. Tim Spriggs is down. 2 debuts in an open challenge. It's hanging in the balance here at Virginia Championship Wrestling. You see Spriggs trying to fight desperately to his feet here. And Rios has pulled himself up, stumbles back to the center of the ring, right in position for Spriggs to unload yet again. Tim Spriggs has Rios right in the center of the ring and connects with an exploder suplex. And Rios De La Sangre maybe biting off more than he can chew with this open challenge, as I don't think he expected it to be answered by Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Tim Spriggs. The high elevation gets Rios up and over. Spriggs looking to turn a corner here, perhaps. Spriggs measures him up in the near side corner and connects. And Spriggs now trying to piece some offense together. And a spine buster right in the center of the ring. He certainly learned himself some professional wrestling too. And a near fall. As even though this is an open challenge, you would have to consider a victory for Tim Spriggs, just considering the near 15 years of experience of Rios De La Sangre. You would have to consider a mild upset, if not a bit more. Spriggs is down. Rios, he's in the high red district here. His back is to Tim Spriggs. That's a no man's land. Goes for that top rope moonsault. Turns right around, and Spriggs connects with a flying knee. That's going to stun Cerrios. Olympic slam, here we go. Spriggs with the cover. And 2 3/4 for Tim Spriggs. As these two going back and forth right here. Rios off the rope, Spriggs, he sidesteps him. Cerrios De La Sangre goes for the springboard cutter. He nails it, 1, 2, and Spriggs somehow hangs on. And now Rios might be looking to shut the door here. He's putting Tim Spriggs right into position. Cerrios De La Sangre. He's all the way upstairs. Cerrios looking to close the door in his VCW debut. Goes for the 450 splash. He's gone to the high-red district multiple times. Spriggs has been ready for him each time. Rios, the springboard leaps right into the outstretched arms of Tim Spriggs. German suplex, he holds the bridge. And somehow Cerrios powers out. You see the frustration setting in here for Tim Spriggs. As Spriggs might be looking to set up a choke perhaps and put Rios in a position. Oh, Rios ducks underneath. Spins Spriggs right around, and he turns him around and dumps him right on his head with a Michinoku driver. Going deep into the playbook is Cerrios De La Sangre. And now, Cerrios all the way upstairs in the near side corner. Will the third time be a charm for Cerrios De La Sangre? And he connects right on the button. 450 splash, 2, 3. And Cerrios De La Sangre wins his VCW debut.
Here is your winner, Cerrios De La Sangre.
Cerrios De La Sangre picking up the victory here over Tim Spriggs. You certainly have to hand it. The Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Tim Spriggs, that Gracie training under Lloyd Irvin and Julius Park, certainly set him up in prime position to nearly get the victory here against Cerrios De La Sangre. We certainly expect Tim Spriggs back in a VCW ring at some point very soon. But when Cerrios was expected to take on Gino Medina, he still passes the test, gets by Tim Spriggs, and now Cerrios De La Sangre, he's here in Virginia Championship Wrestling, and he appears to have unfinished business with the former VCW champion Gino Medina.